Hello everyone, it's Bernina Jeff at High Fashion Sewing Machines and Quilt Shop in Grand Junction, Colorado. I'm not an employee of Bernina of America. I own a dealership here in Western Colorado. I have had several people complain on the Bernina embroidery when they're doing a basting box around their design or around the hoop that it skips and sometimes doesn't grab until the last couple inches. So I took upon myself to find a technique that's going to work the best. I tried several techniques of pulling the bobbin thread up and holding just the top thread, and none of those worked until I found the perfect technique. And I'm going to show you that here in a minute after we set up the machine for embroidery. So first off, let's pick an embroidery design, and I'm just going to go in here and pick something that'll fit possibly in the hoops I have. Let's just do this one here, and let's do the heart. All right, so I am going to go ahead and select the oval hoop because that's what I'm going to be using. So I hit the icon over here for hoops and the oval. Now it's going to give me what it's going to look like in the hoop. Now when you're in this menu of hoops, you have to get out of it, otherwise you'll just stay stuck there. All right, so I am not going to do any editing today on this. I'm just going to show you that we're going to send it to the embroidery by touching the little needle tip with the dots by it, and it should come up with some things that it's going to do. I know we're going to need to put the 26L foot on, so we're going to take it off of our little holder here. I sell these cool little stick-on holders. You can put them on your machine. You can put them on a spinning pyramid or a four-sided one, and I have ideas on almost every type of project or tool to hold it. So we're going to take the 1C foot off, and I'm going to take the plate off because you need to put the single hole plate, so even a holder for the plate. So this is going to come in single, and when the new 990 comes in, we're going to make a plate holder that holds both plates. The new 990 comes with all three plates. Put the plate on with the two holes to the left, hold it down with the finger, push it down with the other finger. Make sure it's flush. Okay? Now let's finish what it's saying up here. We're going to put, make sure the hoop is off, and it's going to move. Okay? Now it's saying put the hoop on. I got two hoops. So I'm going to show you on regular black fabric, and then I'm going to show you on just a stabilizer, because a lot of times you do a placement or something, you have just plain stabilizer, and this is a wash away stabilizer. So it's saying put the hoop on. All right, now let's confirm that we have the 26 foot on, and let's confirm that we have the 0 plate on, and it's 9mm 5.5 punch, and we want the 0/cut, and that's confirmed. So all these are yellow over here, and if they're not yellow, the hoop doesn't have to be yellow, but these all have to be yellow to sew. I don't know why the 26 isn't. We'll see if it allows us to go. All right, so you have to do one more step to do your basting box, and that's this icon up here. I'm going to touch that one time, and it's going to be the basting box just around the design. I'm going to touch it the second time, and it's going to show you, it's going to be the basting box all the way around the hoop. And that's the selection I want to do for this demonstration here on the technique. So the yellow, there's two bobbin cases you can use for embroidery. The yellow is a high tension bobbin case, so if you want to make sure your stitches stay below your embroidery top of your design, I recommend using the high tension bobbin case. It's yellow. It must be good because the new 990 comes with this particular. So that is something you can order on my Shopify account, which is bernina-jeff.myshopify.com. We're just going to use the normal black one, and I'm going to review how to wind a bobbin, and we're going to do it via using the thread stand. You can use a big cone, you can use any type of thread on this. It will even stand this way if you want it to. but with the cone, this is going to be better standing up. It's by Superior Threads. So this is the one I really like a lot. Make sure it's coming off. Now you want to use this little guide here. Snap it in there. And that keeps everything straight and it won't pop out of here. Wrap it around the top tension. Wrap it around the bobbin. The bobbin can be forced on this way, but you want to have it with the non-mirror side up. So the black side up. And my little rule is 7 times around. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and trim it. And now let's let it wind up a little bit. I'll probably let it wind most of the way. And this way we won't run out of any thread for our demonstration. All right, so I turn it off. I use the razor blade on the back of that stop. Now we're going to put the bobbin case in. It only fits in one way. Slide it underneath. I call this the leaf spring. It's got to go underneath the leaf spring and around the pigtail. And I make sure it has nice tension on it. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in the machine now. And if you push on the top and the bottom and not the middle, it won't unlatch itself. Now I've already made sure I had the right embroidery needle in it. I have 2 of my favorite embroidery needles. If I'm using lighter weight thread, I'll use the size 7511, but I only use the gold. This Schmetz Gold embroidery has a coating on it, and it really helps prevent any skipping and shredding and breaking of threads. My go-to is the 9014 because most of the time I'm embroidering with a 40 weight or higher embroidery thread. So the 9014 might make a little bigger hole, but it closes up. You don't hardly notice it. So let's go ahead and thread this machine, and I'm going to use this bright orange thread. It's not really embroidery thread. So I'm just going to take it out of that tension. I'm going to put it in there, and I always like to hold the back side of this. It's just a habit I've gotten into, and I tend to get really good threading options. So I just keep a little pressure on it. I go to the right side of the take lever, to the left, around. And the 790 Pro has a needle threader option. So I got it through the presenter and needle threader and let it do its thing. And that's holding the thread, and it's okay to start just the way it is. So here's what a lot of times happens. If you don't do my next technique, it's going to skip, and let's see if that happens. I haven't even tried it with this thread, so I'm going to go ahead and just start sewing, and that's pressing the green button. And see, it always confirms that you have the 26 and the 0 plate on, and I do. And sometimes you have to go back in, tell the 26, and see it's yellow now. It's happy when it's yellow. Don't ask me why. To me, that's a yield, but when you're embroidering, it's happy. And what happened here is, see, it skipped the first 7 or 8 stitches there. It did pick up after a little while, and that happens with certain threads. Other threads, it might go all the way around and only catch the last 2 or 3. So the technique I have is we're going to go to our backup. This is a little stitch or thread that looks like an S with an X in it. And I'm going to go lefty-loosey backwards to the very beginning. And since this is a basting stitch, it should come right on out. So you can see that my next technique is going to catch on the very first stitch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold the top thread. I'm going to put needle down, needle up, and then if you take your tweezers, I sell the Bernina tweezers, you grab the bobbin thread and pull it out about 4 to 5 inches and just leave it there out of the way. Then take your top thread with the foot up, and you're going to go around the cutter and just let it hold like that. Now if I start sewing, it should pick up on the first stitch. And this works on placements. If you're doing in the hoop project and you need placements for applique and stuff, this really helps on placement stitches. So if you look, it picked up on exactly the very first stitch. And all you have is that extra bobbin thread that was laying there that you can trim. And I've done this on several different types of fabrics and projects, and it picks up on the first stitch every time. Now I'm going to try it on just stabilizer. This is a very thin wash away stabilizer, and let's see if that works on that. All right, so I'm going to take the hoop off, and see that bright orange thread and the black fabric? I think that turned out pretty good for you seeing the project. Now I am going to go to my backup stitch, lefty loosey, lefty backwards, all the way to the very beginning. I'm going to hold onto the thread. I'm going to do needle up, needle down. Comes up, grab your thread. You can do this with your fingers, but I really like tweezers. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to cut it. Like I said, I tried holding onto those and it just didn't do as good a job. So just cut it, let it go, and now start. And looky there. Started on the very first stitch. And if you're doing placements, if you're doing anything, it's going to really help that frustration level of getting your basting box exactly right, your placement box exactly right. And Jill from Durango, thank you, because this video is dedicated to you. And she gave me a great compliment after she tested this out, and she says I was beyond brilliant. So now my head's hitting all the doorways again. Again, you can contact us to order anything or questions at jpvlefty@aol.com. You can call the shop after 9:30 Mountain Time. That's 970-256-1293. And please order stuff from my Shopify account. That's what keeps me doing videos and makes it worthwhile. And that will be bernina-jeff.myshopify.com. And if you get stuck, just Google Bernina Jeff and all these little things will come right up. Thank you very much.